Welcome back to Children's Corner from the PAULINES Bookshop. Today, we are going to listen to the story of the little merchant. Do you know who a merchant is? I don't think I know, but I'd like to know. So, let's go on to reading it. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jim. He lived in a small village in northern Tanzania. His father was called John and his mother Lisa. Jim was 9 years old. He loved his parents and he helped them and was obedient to them. Jim had a younger brother, Peter, and a baby sister, Juliet. He loved Peter and Juliet very much. He liked to play with them and with his many other friends. Jim was very happy. Jim was a very bright boy. He went to school in the nearby village. He liked to read, and often at home he read stories to his brother Peter. Juliet was still too small to follow the story, but she was sitting near him and playing. Before going to bed, Jim joined his father, mother, brother and sister in prayer to thank the Lord and ask for his blessings. Jim's father was a merchant. He bought and sold cows. At times, he went even to neighboring countries to sell his cows. Jim was sad when he saw him leave. When father returned home, it was a great feast. He would bring gifts for all. One day, he brought a beautiful school bag for Jim. Jim thanked his father and took great care of his precious present. It was school holidays. Jim enjoyed his freedom from lessons. One day, his father said to him, "Tomorrow I am going to Kampala. I talked about it to your mother, and I will take you with me. Get ready. We will leave very early in the morning." Jim was excited. It was the first time he would accompany his father to Uganda. His mother helped him to put in his new bag everything he would take with him. They traveled by lorry. It was not comfortable, but Jim was all eyes to see so many new things: villages, homes, fields, and especially people. Near Mbarara, he saw a beautiful crested crane. Kampala was a big town, and Jim was astonished to see very high houses. How can people build huts one on top of another? He asked. His father laughed and answered, "Tomorrow I will show you." The market was much bigger than the one he went to with his mother. There were many men there discussing and bargaining. At times they seemed angry and raised their voices. Jim wanted to know everything that was happening, but he had to wait until his father and he were alone. When they went to their lodging, Jim was tired, and after a quick meal, he fell asleep. He was woken up by a lot of very loud voices. He jumped out of his bed. "What is it?" he asked his father. "I am afraid that we are in big trouble, my son," answered his father. "What people were saying yesterday is happening. This is war. We must try to get home as soon as we can." Quickly, Jim got dressed and followed his father on the street. "Quick!" his father told him. "Let us go to our lorry." His father was still speaking when a bomb fell nearby and burst, striking Jim's father. He fell. Jim started calling him, "Father, Father, please do not leave me here alone. Please answer me." Jim crawled to the dead body and cried all his tears. Time passed. Jim had nowhere to go. He did not know anyone in Kampala. Besides, it looked to Jim as if there were no friendly people in the streets. He was hungry. He was frightened by the shelling. He was lost. "My God," he cried, "help me! Help me to go home." The next day, the roads were crowded once more. There were many dead people in the town. Nobody bothered to help Jim. A few boys passed by. "What are you doing here?" they asked Jim. "I am alone. My father is dead. I have nowhere to go," he answered. "Come with us," said a big boy who looked friendly. Jim followed the group and found himself at the marketplace. "This is our home," said the big boy. "You can stay with us." Jim felt relieved and grateful. "Maybe they will help me to go home," he thought to himself. After a few days, the big boys openly told Jim, "If you want to stay with us, you must start stealing. You cannot get food if you do not do your share." Jim was shocked. He remembered how much his parents had taught him never to steal. "No, I cannot, and I will never steal," he answered. "Then leave us, starve to death for all we care." Jim took his precious little bag and left the marketplace. He did not know where to go or what to do. He was feeling hungry. Then he remembered how many times at home his mother had given food to the poor, who sometimes passed through his homestead. "I will go around and beg for a little food. Nobody will refuse me something to eat." Jim started his life as a beggar. He went from house to house. People often chased him away, thinking he was a thief. But now and then, someone gave him a little food. During the night, he slept under a tree in a park. And when it rained, he tried to shelter on a veranda. "Oh Lord," he prayed, "help me to go home. I do not want to become a thief. I miss my mom. I miss my brother and my sister. I miss school. Help me." Days passed, weeks passed, months passed. He was becoming thinner and thinner. He soon lost hope to find his way home. His trousers and shirt were worn out, though he tried to keep them as clean as possible. Then came Christmas time. People were rejoicing, but Jim was very sad, for it was not Christmas for him. He went into a shop to beg. There a gentle lady asked him, "What is your name?" "I am Jim," he replied. The lady asked him many more questions. Jim told her his story and concluded, "I want to go home. I am afraid to stay here. I am so lonely, and it is Christmas time. My mother surely thinks I am lost, and she may not even know that my father is—" He could not say the word and burst into sobs. The lady brought Jim to her home. She had children of his age. She gave him some good clothes to wear and fed him. It was the first good meal he had eaten in a long time. She told him, "I have a friend who is from your home district. I will ask him to take you home. Do not be afraid. Meanwhile, you are welcome to stay with us." Jim was happy as he thought of going home. He remained in the house of the lady for a few days. One evening, a good-looking man came to see him. "I am Moses," he told Jim. "I know your village, and I am going home for Christmas. I will take you to your mom." Jim thanked Moses and promised his mother would pay the expenses of the journey as soon as he reached home. The lady, however, would not listen to this. "I will pay all the expenses myself. Your mother must be going through hard times knowing that your father is gone." On a Thursday morning, Moses arrived in a car and took Jim with him. Jim again thanked the lady I could not hold his tears. I am so grateful to you, Mom. If it had not been for you, I might have become a thief. I might have starved to death. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord bless you, dear Jim. Do not forget that He is our true Father and will never abandon us. Goodbye and safe journey. On the way back to Tanzania, Jim remembered things he had seen on the road with his father. He was happy, very happy, to be on his way home. Moses was a very kind man, and they stopped twice for food on the way. It was the eve of Christmas when Jim arrived in his village. The news of his arrival spread at once. When Jim entered the homestead, his mother was preparing supper. She could not believe it. She started crying with joy. Jim threw himself into her arms. Peter was very happy to see his brother again, but little Juliet did not recognize him. It was Christmas. Jim thanked the Lord for having brought him home. He remembered all the people who had helped him, his friends of the market, the gentle lady, Moses. There, in front of the crib, Jim understood that Jesus came to make us brothers and sisters, to make us all children of God. That God is a Father who loves us and wants all men to live in peace. And that is the end of the story of the little merchant. Thank you very much.